Good morning, Cancer, and welcome to your September 23rd reading. It's Monday. Happy Monday. Hope you don't have a case of the Mondays. What we're going to do here is a Celtic cross, and we're going to just talk about what's going down for my Cancers. I love Cancer. Mom of the Zodiac. So what I'm seeing here, Cancer, for you, is that you're really feeling yourself. You're stepping out into a bit of uncertainty. Looks like you've got around you some disappointment, a little bit of the past wanting to hold on. But I don't think you're really having that. What we get at the center here is the Two of Wands. Now, Two of Wands, in the traditional Rider-Waite, it's got the world in his hand, looking to go out, has the whole world in his hands. Which way do I go? This is the Lord of Dominion. And so what I'm sensing is you're feeling yourself, basically. You have a good sense of who you are. You have a good sense of where you want to go. You have a good sense of what you're capable of. And then crossing that, what we get is, on a soul level, the Hermit, the Magus of Light. So you have a message, you have a gift, Cancer, that you want to share, that you want to go out, that you want to spread around. Some sort of plan, some sort of, could be for traveling, could be but I'm intuiting it more like a self-worth thing. What we get in the past here is this Five of Cups, Lord of Lust and Pleasure, or what's beneath you, I'm sorry. And what that tells me, and what I've been seeing as I've been doing these readings every day, is I think you've had a lot of disappointment in the past. Things that just didn't work out. Places where you'd applied yourself, hoping for a good outcome that just never really manifested. But what was cool, and I think that had been happening for you quite a long time, Cancer, but what's cool about that is, in the process, while sure there was a lot of disappointment, there's a lot of, things that you're happy to be letting go of, you took the part you like and you're leaving the rest. And I think you kind of like trial by fire, you really started to learn who you are. It wasn't all in vain, because what we get crossing you is the Hermit. The Hermit, if anything, knows their worth. The Hermit, surrounded by darkness with a light. So whatever this disappointment was, it was just sort of like you groping in the dark, hoping to find something. And what got stripped away is everything that is not you. And what you learned is everything you don't want. So now you're down to, what do I want? And what we get here in the past is, I think, a realization of that. Of like, oh, that's why none of that worked. Oh, that's why that didn't happen. Oh, but look what I do have. And somehow you're still standing. The first reading I did, because this is a very new channel, what I had was a lot of swords cards for you. That's being trapped in your head. Then the next day, there was a lot of emotion cards, cups. So that's just like, that's you. That's a wellspring of emotion. But what can happen sometimes with emotion is you get rose-colored glasses. So I think through disappointments in the past, what had happened is kind of a mental prison. And that mental prison came because you'd given your heart out so many times and nothing come back. It's like, well, don't do this again, don't do that again. What if I do that? Better not. Da, 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 da. And what happens eventually is all those swords, all those emotions, they burn themselves off. That's why this is beneath you now. That's not going to repeat either for you, Cancer. And then again, what we get here, this is the Leo card. So you get a lot of fire. a lot of passion, a lot of strength, a lot of taming those swords, taming, unbridled emotion, taming that disappointment. So you got 2 major arcana right here on a soul level. And so what's happened is, like, I think you've learned to marshal your will and you're ready to step out. What we get crowning you is Lord of Success Unfulfilled, 7 of Pentacles. What that is you putting in some work but not really seeing any results yet. Or, if I build it, they will come. You want to step out. You want to plant into the earth. But there's just a germination. Is it germination? Yeah, it is. Period, when you plant a seed. Nothing grows right away. In the Rider-Waite, he's looking at what he's done. Should I stay? Should I go? Is it going to work? Is it not? So I wouldn't say this is so much you wondering, is it going to work or not? I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Also, you've become very strong through everything you've been through. And I think too, the thing about thoughts, the thing about emotions is and the thing about fire is it has no patience. And that's the thing here. You've got the passion in the center with this Lord of Dominion. The Hermit is all about patience. The Hermit has garnered a lot of wisdom. This was not an overnight success. And I'm not saying you were looking for a quick fix overnight success. Yesterday we had the 8 of Cups. I think you'd spent a lot of time with things just not happening. So what's happening here now is you're like one day at a time. Because what I keep getting in your attitude cards has been the Knight of Pentacles. Well, now you're to the Queen of Pentacles. What's coming before you? So basically you're planting, but you're not expecting overnight success, but you're also prepared to put in the work. You're prepared to do whatever you need to do to make whatever it is happen. What I get before you is the Queen of Wands. This is you going out. This is you having the passion. You've got the Strength card backing up that Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands doesn't have time for pity either. So it's a lot of fire. It's a lot of making things happen. Then when we do get in the attitude is another Queen of Pentacles. This is like basically she's your mom who holds down a job. So it's sort of like you can do it all and you know that. You're strong and you're independent. And the other thing is this Queen has no fuss. If the problem comes, she's like, well, I'm going to handle it in the most practical, realistic, quick way so that things don't get out of hand. So you have 2 queens coming in, your attitude and the Queen of Wands. So it's like you've got the fire, you've got the flame, you've got the passion. And I don't think, with these 5 cups below you, that you're like looking for validation for that anymore. You're saying, oh, it didn't work because I'm it. You can get into things hoping for an outcome, but that's always coming from a state of lack. That's from a state of hope. That's, I need this to work. This woman does not need anything to work. And I think that the Strength card, you've sort of tempered the needing it to work and just being like, I work. I worked all along. It was always me. So now you can shine that light and sort of draw things to you. There is no want, there is no lack. There's actually just Lord of Dominion, that flame burning over and over, attracting everything to it. What you have in your environment is the 8 of Swords, Lord of Shortened Force, and that's where I get this 5 of Cups. Disappointment from the past, might still be lingering a little bit, but I think you're at a point now where you kind of are just like, would you shut the fuck up? Like, you don't want to listen to, disappointment from the past anymore. There's been trial, what if it fails? It's like, yeah, you're not doing that anymore. It's blocking your blessings, and you know that. Hopes and fears is a seed that you are planting. Lord of the root powers of earth. So what I love here is up top here, you get the Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles understands earth energy. She understands things don't come to you overnight. She understands that. So again, there's not going to be so much of an emotional component. Because all the other signs, except for Swords and Pentacles, have emotion. Fire has emotion. Water has emotion. But Pentacles, that's cold earth. That's just fact. You do this, you get a good outcome. You bake a cake, there's really no emotional component to when you do it. There's no passion to when you, if you follow the directions, the cake will rise. If you give it time in the oven, it'll do what it do. And in fact, getting too emotional about that will only screw it up. You know, you'll keep checking for it, pull it out before it's ready. Is this do? And I think that's what that Eight of Swords is in your environment. Well, what about that? It wants you to like pull the cake out of the oven before you're ready to. Only hopes and fears. I think you're just sort of stomping out hopes and fears. You're being like, it'll be what it is. So your seed is planted. But your outcome is Lord of the Root Powers of Air. You're putting your ideas into a practical plan. And you're moving forward with that. I'm feeling called now to go just a little bit deeper for some reason in this spread and see if I see anything. The layer under the layer. I think there's a fire in your soul. And I think you see a lot of the pain that is in the world, Cancer. And I think for yourself, you've learned how to temper that. And I think when you look around, I think you see a lot of people in pain. And I think you might be a bit of a torchbearer for other people. I think for years, Cancer has been really shut down while everyone else seems to be going. But that's like, kind of like, you know, being a mother can be a very thankless job sometimes. It's like you see things before anyone, but no one will really acknowledge you. But what happens is that which is soft always overcomes that which is hard. So it's like you're rising to the top now, quietly, with what you've known all along, because you can see what many others can't. And in a weird way, it's your time. But it's not your time in a vengeful way, because Queen of Pentacles isn't vengeful. And I think you're looking kind of at the world now, Cancer, seeing, you know, the people trapped in their minds, their swords, their thoughts. So you're ready to ground all of that. Plant a seed, a new way of being with new ideas. And these ideas are observations that you've been able to see the whole time. There's a lot of mother wound healing here as well. And that hermit, you know, traditionally is surrounded by darkness, but has the light. And shines that light, because you have to go into darkness to find the light. And when we look at the sign of Cancer, what you have is the 69, the yin and the yang. Cancer is not afraid to go to the bottom of the ocean. Cancer isn't afraid of that darkness. Cancer knows that that's actually, if you don't deal with what's going on underneath, that's what will be driving you. And I think Cancer sees that in a world that maybe doesn't. Career-wise, what do we get here, Cancer? You're doing important work, right? Career-wise, the Empress. You know, I always kind of put her with the Pentacles suit. She's more than that. She's all the queens in one. But Pentacles, you're planting seeds. And I think with what we just talked about on a more deep level, you're planting seeds for a new earth to grow. So many tarot readings you watch, they can have you kind of going for the shallow, which just creates a frantic state of mind. But Cancer, you're more than that. You're the bottom of the ocean. that's why, the home can be so important for Cancer. So I think too, on a more like day in, day out superficial level, you're like, how can I create a life around me that I can anchor, that it's like your home? Your income is your home, your love life is your home, because this Five of Cups, this was huge Cancer, always trying to play by everybody else's rules and fit in. And this is you realizing, hey, I don't fit in. And everything you've tried has failed. So why should I try to play that game anymore? And then, roar. With that kind of attitude, we don't even need to draw a love card, because who cares who's coming in, who's coming out? That's another thing you get with tarot. It's so frantic about love and da-da-da-da, and it's like, for what? To keep you clicking on it? Yeah. Daughter of the Reconcilers. This is you again, 6-9. If love's going to come to you, Cancer, one, it'll be a potion you design. Meaning, we've got, the seeds being planted, the flames. What you attract to you now will be what you've created for yourself. Does that make sense? Like attracts like. So if in the past you felt like you were looking for people needing something, you're going to attract other people needing something. But you're like on a throne with that Empress. So the Empress don't need anybody. That's not that hyper independence, either screw everybody, I'm the shit type talk either. It's just because true power doesn't condemn anything else either around it. So it's a peaceful thing you're creating for yourself. And you want someone who's going to match that, who can match you on a more soulful level, rather than something that just looks good on the outside, but underneath is spiritually dead. It could be an earth sign, could be a fire sign. I see that, especially with the Fortitude and the Queen of Wands. Again, this could be the past tugging on you. Perhaps you want to reconcile the past. I see you being open to that, but I also see you not really holding your breath for it. And I see you being kind of bored. Because again, with this outcome, this Ace of Swords, you want something new. If anything from the past were to come back for you, Cancer, it would have to have such a new life. And you'd be willing to breathe that new life into it, but you're also, again, you're not holding your breath. You are very, practical at this point. And you've been in this Eight of Swords for so long. You're tired of that. Could also be a Libra. It really doesn't matter though, because I think on a soul level what you're looking for now, Cancer, is something that's really right. And I think you're trusting yourself rather than how things look. I don't think you care how it looks. I think you care about getting the job done. One more, Cancer, for the overall. Just what we've been saying. Queen of Swords. I think in the past too, you've judged yourself very, very harshly, especially with that Eight of Swords. Swords is tough. People say, the Queen of Swords, she knows her worth, she's been through it, so she'll be kind, but don't play any games. Sometimes too, though, the Queen of Swords, we do it to ourselves. We beat ourselves up. Because there can be a certain hyper-independency and attention with that, and that's what that Eight of Swords is. And I think in the past, the Queen of Swords, you might have been trapped in your own mind, Queen of Swords mind, like just negative thinking, negative, oh, that'll never work, why would that work? You tried it again, it didn't work. See, I'm not doing that again type thinking. And I think, again, what's happened is you've kind of burned that off. Just what I've been seeing the past few readings. This is a really new channel. And I think now you're more looking at the world like that. I mean, that ends up here with the Temperance of just, if it doesn't speak to the soul, I don't think you're into it anymore. Because I think in the past you compromised your soul because you live in a world that tells you what you should be doing, and you're not into that anymore, Cancer. And I think too, as you plant these seeds, you know what we talked about, sometimes you have the foresight to see what others cannot. So you're always a few steps ahead on everything. And rather than, well, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong about that, you're going to be like, no, I know what I know. Sorry, not sorry. So Cancer, this is your reading for today. Really powerful, really good. This new channel, if you like it, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. I thank you for joining me. If you want to share the video, please do. And have a great, wonderful Monday. Powerful reading. I'll see you tomorrow.